How are we all? How are we doing? How are we doing? Welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. Hopefully you're well. We should be live. If we are, then say hello. I'm seeing the live chat going a little bit crazy at the moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to be back. It really, really is. I'm back home as well, as you can see by the backdrop. But it's, really refreshing to be back. I'm really looking forward to sitting down, having a chat, and getting into it. It's match week 22 in Sky Bet League One. Lots of predictions, lots of previews. It's been a really, really sort of busy, I was going to say week or two. It's probably been a little bit longer than that. Hence why the podcast sort of had a little bit of a break. The World Cup's been in full swing, but club football is well and truly back. I know League One's been continuing, but it's been a little bit strange, hasn't it, in the way that it's been doing. But, this weekend, 3 o'clock kickoffs across the board on Saturday. Really looking forward to it. Welcome to the live stream. Please leave a like. Please do subscribe. I'm seeing all your comments coming through. Absolutely incredible. Welcome to the live stream. Of course, Thursday night. So it's a real traditional prediction and preview episode on a Thursday night. I'm seeing your brilliant comments come through now. Let's read a couple of them before we go through every single game that we played on Saturday. We've got Joe and Charlton. Hi, mate. Charlton fan. Feeling good for Saturday. Interesting stuff. Ruth says Cambridge is gonna beat Fleetwood. Cambridge need the points. Of course they do, but Fleetwood as well. They have been really difficult to beat this season. We'll come on to that game. Of course we will. I think Bristol Rovers will beat Charlton. Interesting. Charlton in a whole lot of trouble. We'll come on to Charlton specifically later on. They're in a lot of trouble at the moment, aren't they? Bristol Rovers on the up under Joey Barton. Far from Roshan says, it sounds like Forza motorcycle music. I presume you're talking about the intro music there. It's copyright free. That's what we can do. Up the Charlton. You've got a lot of Charlton fans in here today, haven't we? Knew Ben Gunner was a rubbish manager. Well, he's not in a job at the moment, is he? Oxford shall win the league. I've got to be honest, I can't see it. Yeah, Joe Green's up the Wanderers. Ipswich are winning the league. Gas are going via the playoffs. Interesting. Up the Whites as well. I believe we're talking about Bolton Wanderers there. It's brilliant to see you all. Please do leave a like I say. Please do subscribe if you're new. Remember, this will be going up as a video as well. So if you are watching this as a video, please do leave a comment. The comments will be open. You can give your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be replying and responding to all of them as I always do, just like it would be as a normal video. But I thought we'd do it live. I've been away for a couple of days. It's been a little bit longer than that, just over a week, I think. But yeah, I've been really busy. You can tell I'm a little bit bunged up at the moment, not feeling my best. But it's good to be back home. It's good to be back home. And we can chat about football. Right, let's get into it. Let's not mess about any further because we've got a lot of games to go through. And I know how these sort of live streams predictions, they do go on a little bit longer. And I want to hear your thoughts as we go through as well. So give me your predictions as we power through because there's going to be a lot to talk about. Let's make sure we change the screen. That could have been embarrassing. We could have done an entire stream with the wrong screen. And there we go. So this is the current league table. We don't normally start with it, but let's start with the league table. Let's have a little look at what we're dealing with after 21. Sometimes we've played 18 games. A little bit all over the shop, isn't it, at the moment? But this is the league table going into game week 22. We do sort of the league table breakdown for the roundups. We don't always do it for these, do we? So let's have a little look before we go into a match week because interesting stuff. Currently bottom of the table, Morecambe. MK Dons also in that bottom 4. They have been for quite a lot of the season, haven't they? And Liam Manning was sacked. Was it Monday? Was it Monday or Sunday? I think it might have been Monday. So, he's out of a job. We thought that he probably was hanging on to a job for a large part of the season. They've been absolutely woeful so far this season. So he is now... He's now been sacked, and MK Dons have now got to try and survive. Ultimately, they're in now ultimate survival mode, which sounds crazy considering where they were last season, but the reality is they are in utter survival mode and need to get themselves out of what at the moment is a serious relegation battle. Forest Green Rovers, Burton, MK Dons, Morecambe, like I said, make up that bottom 4. There's a little bit of a gap between Burton and Forest Green Rovers, 4 points. Forest Green at the moment, or the last 3 games have actually been really, really good. They're unbeaten in the last 3 and won their last 2. So Forest Green Rovers may be making a little bit of a push out of that relegation zone. Cambridge United, and Accrington have got to be careful. They really, really do, because they can easily drop back into that bottom 4. I say back in there. I don't think any of them have been in there. Accrington might have been quite early on in the season, but it's going to be really interesting. Looking at the top 6, really fascinating. I mean, we could talk about top 6 battle. We could go down as far as probably 14th, 15th. I hope to say 16th, where Oxford United currently find themselves. I don't know, maybe a little bit excited about it, but I think it's really, really open. In fact, I know, we can all see it's very, very open at the moment, and literally anything can happen. Any team has a possibility of getting themselves into the race. Although we are 20 games in, we're coming to the halfway mark of the season. It is really, really quite tight. And a couple of wins, a team goes on a good run. We speak about it a lot, but a team goes on a good run, you just dare to dream, don't you? You absolutely dare to dream. And I look at Oxford at the moment. We've lost 7 games this season. We're on 25 points, but we're 6 points away from the top 6, and that is just absolutely mind-blowing. We've got a couple of games in hand on a few of the teams in between 16th and 6th as well. So, we can sit there and we can maybe hope a little bit, but we can also understand that teams are going to hopefully, well, not for Oxford, but for yourself and for the teams you represent, find a bit of form, and absolutely who knows. Currently making up that top 6 of Peterborough United, Bolton Wanderers, Barnsley, Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, Plymouth dropped from top spot after last weekend, and now Ipswich are current league leaders on 45 points, played 21 games. Let's go through some of your comments early doors. Ryan Faulkner says, another loss coming for us, Jack. I don't know, Ryan. It's difficult, isn't it? We'll come on to Charlton. We'll come on to them. It's not looking great, is it, at Charlton? It's not looking great at Charlton, and we could speak about Charlton in length, really, but there's more than Ben Garner. I know we spoke about Ben Garner and him, not being in a job and being sacked, but there's a lot of problem at Charlton. It's more than Garner going. It's a Sangar thing. It's a CEO. It's a structure problem. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. But as fans, we're thinking about the on the field stuff. We're thinking about the football. And maybe Saturday can turn things around. But Ryan, who I know well and who is a Charlton fan, he's not confident clearly by reading his thoughts out there. Andy says, Derby 7, Forest Green Rovers 0. A man can only dream his team can score 7. Derby looking fairly good recently. A lot of draws, aren't they? They're currently going for the draw league, as many others as well. Fleetwood are also in that race. Tough game Saturday, Ipswich. Ryan, why any reason? I mean, to be fair, I think it's probably he's looking at the form. I think he's looking at that last 5 games in particular and thinking, I'm not too confident. I don't blame it too much. Well done, the promoted team sitting 11th, 12th and 13th. Exactly. It's that tight, isn't it? It's that tight. Right, we've been going and we haven't been speaking about some of the games. Let's get into it. Let's start with Derby County because they're going to be hosting Forest Green Rovers on Saturday. Let's have a little delve into this one. You can see by looking at the league table here, Derby currently 7th. By the way, is my audio okay? I've got the stream up here. I think it might be okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. Don't want to go into the video, into the live stream, and then the audio be absolutely naff. But things are okay. Let's go to Derby County then. 7th in the league. We briefly spoke about them there, but it's close. Only not in that top 6, but because of goal difference, both on 31 points, Peterborough United and Derby. It's really, really tight. Peterborough in absolutely woeful form, so if their form continues to go in the direction it is at the moment, which isn't very good, and Derby can start turning those draws they've been having in recent weeks into a win, you'd like to think they can do it against Forest Green. But, like I said, we were discussing the relegation battle. Forest Green Rovers are really, really trying to make this quite a fascinating escape. I thought Forest Green Rovers, and I got a video with Tom coming out. Hopefully I haven't spoiled it too much. I won't keep going into that. I think I might have done myself a hole there. But all I'm going to say is, I'm going to do it anyway, but I'm probably going to spoil Tom's video idea now. But all I'm going to say is I thought Forest Green Rovers were pretty much nailed on for relegation. I thought for player, that they're just not good enough. They're not to the standard. I think that they took a massive hit in the summer window. They got promoted, but they lost some really, really key players, and they really didn't look like a side that had the ability to stay in the league. The start of the season, for the large part of it, they proved that point. Last 3 games, I know we are looking at a really small sort of period of games to sort of analyse there, but the last 3 have been quite good, and they're making it quite fascinating. They're making it quite interesting and exciting for you Forest Green Rovers fans. I remember a couple of weeks ago that clip came out of the fans chanting about Ian Birchnell, the manager, screaming that he's got to go. I saw him play against Oxford United, which I think was a draw here. Is that the draw there? It must have been. Was it 1-1? Yeah. And look, as an actual team, you look at their individual players, they weren't very good. But as a unit, they had a game plan, they stuck to it, and they're going to make it interesting, they're going to make it tight. Ryan says, no manager, fans have no faith, players aren't putting the work in, atmosphere is toxic. I think, Ryan, you've absolutely summed up your point brilliantly there. And I'd say that's pretty much the way it is, isn't it? The form is pretty rubbish, lacking a manager, which is also quite an important part of a football club. And yeah, I think the whole football club at the moment around there isn't great. Ben says, hello, Jack. How you doing, Ben? Hopefully you're well, mate. Hopefully you're well indeed. Leeburn, I think there's a lot of Charlton going on. We'll come on to Charlton. Give me your thoughts, chat. Derby County, Forest Green Rovers. We'll look at the bookies here as well. I think it's going to be interesting. It's at Pride Park. I think Derby will win the game. I know there's a lot of upsets, and there's always a little bit of a. Have we got the odds? I don't think we do. Is it a bit early for odds? It might be. That makes it interesting, though. We can do a full prediction without being swayed by the bookies. You actually see Derby County are unbeaten quite a few games. The last game they lost was Liverpool on penalties, I think, or after extra time in the EFL Cup. Their unbeaten run has stretched for quite a long time. I think Derby are going to get the job done here. I think they will. I think at Pride Park, I think although Forest Green Rovers are going to make it quite a nitty-gritty game, they're going to try and play, I imagine, quite a low block. Although, having said that, they sort of saw Oxford United try and not use much pace going forward, actually play quite a high line and stop us from getting in behind. But I think they're going to make it quite a frustrating game, but I think if Derby can sort of see through that, and with the individual quality that Derby have got, I think they probably will get through that. Very excited to see Charlton. Heard it's a big pitch. Have some stuff about Charlton's owners. Mine is shambolic as well. There won't be many fans there though. Derby County versus Forest Green Rovers. I'm going to go 2-0 to Derby County. 2-0 Derby County. I think they've got it in the bag. Derby, I think they do. The Rams, I think they're going to win that game 2-0 and fairly comfortable in that result. We'll come back to Wycombe against Ipswich Town. We'll come back to that game because I understand there'll be a lot of chat about that one. Let's go to Cheltenham against Lincoln City, because this one is actually quite a fascinating one to speak about, because Cheltenham were on a little. I mean, I know they lost their last game to Forest Green Rovers, which was quite disappointing for them. But I also felt that the run they went on before that was really impressive, really, really good. And they sort of were, I think, soaking up the negativity that they were receiving. I remember the FA Cup absolute humiliation to the lowest ranked team in that competition, and there was a lot of negativity. Wayne Elliott was receiving a lot of stick, and I think he looked like at one point that he might be the next manager to go in League One. And then a bit of a run. They got a point at Ipswich, didn't they? And 1-1. They defended for their lives. They fought for their lives, and then things just have turned around. Like I say, disappointing against Forest Green Rovers, a game in which they feel they should be winning. But you look at Forest Green at the moment, they're sort of high and flying when it comes to confidence. But it's really, really tight, isn't it? Really tight. We're level on points now with each other, Oxford and Cheltenham. I know it's irrelevant when we talk about this game in particular, but that's just showing, as an Oxford United fan, I think how we feel that we've picked it up, and I think Cheltenham have as well. We're sort of in similar boats in that sense. Lincoln City were doing really well, and again, another example of how interesting this league is and how fascinating this division is. I think they were 8th or 9th, maybe a little bit lower than that, but it was really, really close, really, really tight to where they wanted to, where they maybe could have dreamt of being in those playoff places. But the only problem they had was beating teams or getting results against teams on the bottom half of the table they struggled with. And once again, their defeat, you can see it here, lost 2-0 to Shrewsbury, who aren't in the bottom half, but they're sort of a team in and around where they were at that point. They got a draw after that against Wycombe Wanderers, which really isn't a bad point, to be fair. But you look at where Lincoln were, they've dropped down 3 or 4 places with just 2 results, and that is how ruthless this league is. I'm just seeing a couple of your, and this season in particular, I would say, just looking at some of your thoughts. 2-1 Lincoln City, 2-0 Lincoln, 3-2 to Cheltenham, 1-0 Cheltenham, 1-1, 2-1. Few sort of varied predictions there from the people in the live chat. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It is really tough. We have got the bookies this one, actually. Cheltenham 40%, Lincoln City 31%. When you look at their specific odds, but Cheltenham, Lincoln City, really quite tight, actually. 2-1 Lincoln we've got as well from Ipswich Jake. Cheltenham actually are favourites. I mean, everything says we probably shouldn't back Lincoln here, because their results this season haven't been very good. And I'm going to go with it's either Cheltenham to win or a draw. I'm going to put my neck on the line here. I'm going to go Cheltenham to win the game. And I'm going to go 2-1. Not a good result for Lincoln. Not a good result for Lincoln. But I'm going to go 2-1. I've just had a super chat from Johan Charlton. Johan, mate, you didn't have to do that. Amazing, amazing person. He says, best player in League One and young player. First and foremost, thank you so much for your super chat, Johan. You don't have to do that. You're an absolutely amazing guy. I'm extremely grateful. Best player in League One, young player as well. Best player in League One, I probably would go Barry Bannon. In terms of the most, in terms of the best player, I probably would go Barry Bannon. I'd like to back someone like Cameron Brannigan as well. I think he'd definitely be in the top 5, arguably top 3 in terms of the best player. So I would go Barry Bannon. And it's interesting, both those players are going to go head-to-head this weekend. Sheffield Wednesday taking on Oxford United. Young player, that's a tough one, actually. Just trying to think, best young player. It's really hard. I might have to sort of think about that as the stream goes on, which isn't very helpful, is it? But I'm just trying to think, go through club by club. Working out the age of these players is quite hard, isn't it? Trying to work out how to do it. BFC says Aaron Collins is clear of Bannon. Got more assists too. Joanne says, you're putting in the work. You deserve that. Joanne, you're too kind, son. You're too kind. Aaron Collins, I'll tell you what, he's had a very good season. He has had a very good season, Tom, but I would probably go, probably would edge Bannon in terms of best player. In terms of who is the most informed player of the two players, yeah, you probably would have to argue Collins a little bit. But even so, Bannon's been very good this season. But in terms of best player, you probably would go with Bannon. In terms of technical ability, and he's at 33, still absolutely putting a shift in, playing week in, week out. That has to be marked a whole load of credit and all that. Lee Byrne as well. Yeah, Lee Byrne's gone up a couple of times. He's really exciting, isn't he, at Charlton? 19 years of age, 18, 19. He's going to be a top player. You can see that. Stats don't lie, said Tom. They don't lie. Celeb Taylor, really impressive him, isn't he? He's a centre back at Cheltenham, isn't he? So yeah, I think he could be up there actually. Celeb Taylor could get it, but Lee Byrne as well. I think there's some really good shouts. I'll try and give you some more options as we go through. Raksaki at Charlton, yeah, potentially. Charlton have got some good young players. Mehmeti, oh absolutely, yeah, Mehmeti's a really good one. Dapo is up there for best player, yeah. How young Dapo? He's not old, is he? So he could be a young player. Josh Coburn, yeah, best young player. Aaron Morley, James Trafford, Conor Bradley would be really good actually. Conor Bradley would be a good shout. James Trafford as well. Some lots of options. We are blessed in League One. We are blessed. Anyway, I'm going to go 2-1 to Cheltenham in this game. But we are absolutely blessed. I think, fair play to Joe, and you've really sort of created a conversation here. I think a lot of people are getting involved. So I'm non-biased, of course. Josh Coburn, surely best player. Yeah, there's some really good names. And like I say, we're really lucky to have them all in this division. So, Plymouth Argyle versus Morecambe next. Of course, no longer league leaders, Plymouth. They are now in second place. We look at Morecambe, who are bottom of the league. If they had to drop first place, it would have been first versus bottom. But we have got now second versus last. At 15 points, Morecambe. They're struggling, aren't they? They're struggling. Only 2 wins this season. I think they probably will go down. I've got a feeling Morecambe will be getting relegated. They do not fill me with confidence whatsoever. They have only, like I say, won 2 games out of 20 this season. They are in a lot of trouble. 9 games they've lost. They've drawn 9. They've actually drawn quite a few, but they've lost far too many. And really, they haven't won at all either, have they? They haven't won enough. Best young player for sure. Dapo might not fit, being 24. Yeah, he's 24. Yeah, I didn't think he was. He wasn't young, was he? But I didn't think he was that old. Right, let's have a look at the odds here. Plymouth 64%, Morecambe 17%. Yeah, Plymouth, as we expected, heavy favourites. We haven't done Charlton yet, no, mate. I think Plymouth have got this one in the bag. Although their recent form hasn't been very good, you can see the last 4 games, I think Plymouth have really got to turn this around because, although we speak about how a good run can take you up there, look at Ipswich, they're absolutely relentless. And if you drop, and also as well, look at Sheffield Wednesday, they're in really good form. Barnsley, the last 4 games have been absolutely exceptional, and they're in a really good run. So Plymouth have got to be really, really careful. I think they have still got this sort of top 3 race in the bag, but I do think they've got to make sure that they don't slip away, and consistency is going to be really important at the moment. They have got a little bit of consistency, and it's not doing great. something shock. Morecambe win. 24 is still young. It is young, but in football terms, 24 sort of, hitting you. They normally say under 21, don't they? Under 21, under 22 for young player of the year. 3-1. Get your predictions in. Plymouth versus Morecambe. I think this is only going one way. I'll be honest. I think it is. I'm probably going to go 3-0. Very comfortable. I think in terms of a bad run of Plymouth, this is the perfect game because they can actually, score a couple of goals, probably more than a couple they'll be hoping, and come away fairly unscarred and win the game and get a bit of a run going because momentum is really important. And the moment they lose that momentum, they need to sort of keep up with Ipswich, and they should do. They're only 1 point away, but they've got to be really careful. And I think they will. I do think they will. 4-0 Plymouth. Seen quite a few 1-0s. I don't know whether a lot of people are winding them up. I've seen an Exeter fan speak about a 1-1, so I'm not too worried about that. But a few people saying 1-1. I don't see it. I know we get shocked regularly, but I don't see it. Oscar says hello. Oscar, hello, my friend. How are you? I'm going to go 3-0. Very comfortable. At ease. I think Plymouth in that one. I do. I don't see a way that anything other than a win is coming towards the Argyle on that occasion. So let's go to Fleetwood then, because they are facing an out-of-form Cambridge United side. Fleetwood themselves, Fleetwood's sort of last 5 games sort of summed up their season, really. They haven't lost many. They haven't won many. They've drawn a lot. They've been difficult to beat. They've been frustrating. Excuse me, I've got a really bad cold at the moment. I'm trying not to sniff into the microphone. I imagine that isn't too comfortable for anybody involved. But they're facing a side like Cambridge United at the moment are absolutely... they're stinking at the moment, aren't they? They're really, really not in a good place. And I think with Cambridge, we're seeing maybe a little bit of second season syndrome. I hope it's not a second season syndrome that sort of sees them go down or anything as sort of dramatic as that. But we are seeing a drop off. We are seeing a side that last season was really, really strong. And they were really good on the eye. They played some really good football. Defensively, they weren't bad at all. This season, and even when they had a really good start, they had a really good start this season as well, but even when they had a good start to the season, they were still conceding goals. The problem they've got is now, they still conceded 32 goals. They've only scored 19, and those results have taken a hit for it. And that's what I always felt was a bit of a danger. They were, doing quite well for the first sort of, let's say, 10 to 15 games. It might have been a little bit less than that, but it's around that sort of period of games. And they were conceding quite a few goals, but they were winning. They were winning as well, or getting results anyway. And then the results shifted. They were conceding too many anyway, but they were getting away with it. And then they now can't score as many. Only 19. And you can see by the recent form, they've lost 12 games this season. They've only won 6. They haven't drawn many. They've only drawn 3. But it's looking tight. It's looking really, really tight, and they can't get dragged into it. Forest Green now hitting some form, so Cambridge can easily get dragged down. They can easily get dragged down, and I hope they don't. I like Cambridge. I like what they're about. And surprisingly, if you watch the podcast for a long time, I do like their manager, Mark Bonner. I don't think he's watching, but you never know. You absolutely never know. Let's have a look at the odds. 42% chance for Fleetwood, 33 for Cambridge United, specifically 50 to 53. It's a really, really tight. Actually, specifically, Cambridge have the edge, but I don't know. I feel Fleetwood could do this. I'm going to say either I haven't looked at the chat yet, but I'm going to say either a draw or a Fleetwood win, but I'm still swearing towards a draw. Morecambe could just put... that's the last game. Morecambe could just put everyone behind the ball, which will make it... They will make it frustrating. They will make it really difficult. And it's going to be a game of can Plymouth break them down, to sort of sum up that last game. But it is true. It's going to be can they break them down. 1-1, 0-0, 2 on Cambridge, 2 on Fleetwood, 2-1 Cambridge, 1-0 Fleetwood, 2-2. We played great against Plymouth. Yeah, that was the last game, wasn't it? 0-0. Yeah, maybe that could be a bit of a confidence. Although it was a draw, it is a draw against who were the time league leaders, and that of course has to be taken into consideration. They put in a really good shift, and that defensively they were a real unit and unified at that point, which is really important. I can just say this in Norwegian: Oxford United, League One, beste lag. Can you say this in Norwegian? I'll give it a go. I don't want to offend any Norwegians. Oxford United, League One, beste lag. Is that right? Maybe it's lag. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so sorry. I don't speak Norwegian, but I can give it a go for you. I tried to give it you a go. Anyway. Also, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm going to guess Oxford United the best in League One? Again, absolutely guessing there. Absolutely guessing. I don't think it is. It's not a true statement, but there we go. Yeah, what are the odds, did we say? Yeah, 43, 42, 33. Yeah, no, I probably would go, I don't know. Draw, 1-1. Should we go with a draw? Let's go with a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. I know Ruth obviously is our big Cambridge United fan, who follows the podcast, has done for a long time. They're back in the Cambridge. That's good, is it? 1-1, yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. Sorry, I snitched the mic again. Sorry, guys. All right. Right, let's go to Port Vale Accrington. We're getting through the games now. Port Vale 11th. Accrington Stanley 19th. Port Vale enjoying a really good season, aren't they? They are enjoying a really, really good season. They're becoming this. So I keep saying it every week. I don't want to repeat myself, but they are a side you've got to watch out for. They are a side you've got to watch out for. They're playing some really good stuff. They're playing some really good football. They're exciting. They're reminding me of Cambridge United and Cheltenham last season, where sides are sort of taking them maybe a little bit lightly and they're getting punished for it, which is always really good. Sides who get, go up and now sort of finding their feet maybe quicker than people thought, and maybe playing some really good stuff in which people maybe didn't expect. And for Port Vale, they're proving that. It's really exciting. And you have got to be, got to be really switched on. Accrington, they've been in League One for quite a long time, haven't they? They have been in League One for quite a long time, and at the moment, they're sort of having they're not having an Accrington season, because normally you see Accrington around the mid-table. They are sort of a worse Accrington side that we have seen in terms of a league position. But we watched them against Oxford United a couple of weeks ago, and we drew 1-1. It was Accrington. It was very much Accrington. It was stay in the game, even if we go 1-0 down, stay in it, make it tight, make it quite frustrating, play a bit of a low block, sort of trust yourself on the counter, hit an absolute worldie from outside the penalty box and let it fly in the back of the net, defend for your lives, and frustrate the living hell out of everybody involved, that football club you're playing against. And that's Accrington. And although there I'm sounding like a little sarcastic little boy, and clearly someone not very happy with the result, salty, some would call it, it works. And it has done for many, many years with John Coleman. He's a very switched on manager. He knows how to get the best out of what is a limited resource, limited budgeted team and squad. And those players individually, some of them are really good, some of them are absolutely bang average, some of them are probably League Two players, but you can sort of work out that within that squad he can get the best out of them because he's tactically so well switched on, and he plays a system in which those players can just strive, absolutely strive. So you feel that every time you play Accrington it's going to be difficult. They haven't been as sort of strong. They've won 5 games from 20, which is quite unlike Accrington, and they've lost quite a few more than I thought they would at 9. This is going to be quite interesting. Let's go through some of these thoughts here. I want everyone to comment who's winning Argentina versus France. Yeah, you could do that. Give me your thoughts. 1-0 Vale, 2-1 Vale, 2-1 Vale. Vale were decent, to be fair, just a bit better. Thoughts on Shrewsbury? We'll come to Shrewsbury in a minute. 3-1 Accrington, 2-0 Vale, 1-0, 3-1, 2-0 Vale. Brandon says, is this live? It is live. It is live. Hello, Brandon. 3-0. Yeah, I think we'll go. Graham says no. It's not live. This is all recorded. I'm just reading your thoughts out. I know what you're gonna say, and I'm replying to them on the stream. It's magic. Absolutely magic. Let's have a look at the odds here. 49-27, Port Vale heavy favourites. That surprised me. I thought they'd be quite closer than that. Hello, mate. How are you? I don't know if you've done the Oxford United versus Wednesday game yet, but hoping we batter you just so we can get some more goal difference. What a lovely comment. What a lovely comment. Hope we batter you. Only joking, Alex. Only joking, mate. I know. I hope we batter you too. I'm well, mate. How are you, Alex? Hopefully you're well. It's going to be a really interesting game on Saturday. It really, really will be. And I think I'm really looking forward to it. In fact, I know I am. I really am. Robbie says, WA. How far are we into this, lad? We're about halfway, I'd say. No Bolton yet, Brandon. Sound. But don't worry, we're coming to Bolton. Port Vale versus Accrington. I'm going to go 1-1. No, I'm not. I'm going to go 2-1 to Port Vale. I back Port Vale. They've excited me this season. 2-1 Port Vale. 2-1 Port Vale. Right then, I'd say we're halfway. Was that fair? We've done these. Peterborough, Shrewsbury. Let's go there. Oxford United fan says, predictions for Wednesday versus Oxford, that will come. Have you done Oxford? No. Shrewsbury, 93rd minute winner versus Bolton last Saturday. Right, Peterborough versus Shrewsbury. I don't know who said it earlier, but Shrewsbury, how thoughts on Shrewsbury? Here we go. This is my thoughts on Shrewsbury. Peterborough, 6th, but in absolutely woeful form. 4 defeats on the bounce. At the moment, Grant McCann and that Peterborough United side are really, really struggling for confidence. And also, they've only drawn 1 game. They've lost 10. They've won 10. From 21 games, they pretty much, there or thereabouts, very close, nearly lost exactly half of those games. And they're still in the playoffs. That is how crazy this league is. That is how absolutely crazy this league is. They've lost pretty much, other than other than 1 game which was a draw, they've lost half the games and they're still in the top 6. That is how open, that is how crazy this division is. And I think it does sort of sum up exactly what League One's all about. But they're in really bad form at the moment. They're in really bad form. Shrewsbury, 10th in the league. Last 2 games have been good, and they're sort of getting back on track now, which is always exciting for Shrewsbury and that squad that did improve quite a lot over the summer. Shrewsbury are going to be a physical side. They're going to be really physical. And actually for Peterborough, I'm a little bit worried for them. I think Peterborough will be a little bit relieved they're at home, because at home you have, of course, got that home advantage. But I also know that Shrewsbury, they're physical, they're tough, they're battlers, they're warriors, and they're going to fight for it. They're also going to smell blood. They've won their last 2. Their opposition, Peterborough, lost the last 4. They probably are going to smell blood. And they're probably going to go, we can take these boys down. We can. And for Peterborough, they've got to be switched on. They've got to turn it around. They've got to make sure that they do change their fortunes. That form does switch, because Derby, I was going to say Derby are coming. The last 3 games they've drawn. Portsmouth from really bad form, really. Wycombe drew their last game. It's so tight, so even. Teams are dropping points. It's really quite fascinating. Can you do Wanderers last? Because I'll just leave the stream then. Can do, Brandon. Can do. Shrewsbury win 2-0. Peterborough have been shocking recently. Shrewsbury have also been doing better as the season's gone on. Dunkley will be make or break for this game. Dunkley, we love Dunkley as Oxford United fans. I know you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan, so he also was a big part of... was he a big part? He was injured quite a lot, wasn't he? But he did play. 1-0 Shrewsbury, 2-1 Shrewsbury, 2-0 Peterborough. Chat has he done the Ipswich game yet? He hasn't. Can you do Wanderers last? Done that one. 2-1 to Shrewsbury, 2-0 Shrewsbury. Back into Shrewsbury. I don't know, it's tight. Let's have a look at the odds. We've got odds. We have 51 Peterborough, 25% Shrewsbury. The odds are really, really stacking against Shrewsbury, which does surprise me. I think the home advantage plays a huge part in the odds, it does all the time. I don't know. 2-2. I can see that, I can see a draw. 2-2. I'm going to back 2-2. Peterborough 2, Shrewsbury Town 2. I can see it. When you can see results on BBC Sport on your phone. I can see 2-2 for that game. Peterborough's form worries me. It does. I'm sure it'll be worrying a lot of Peterborough United fans as well. He was always injured, that's what I thought. But he had 10 game streak of non-injured. That's promising. And he was world class, overrated. No, I like Dunkley. We always did, Ox. He was a real fan favourite. Right then, let's go to Barnsley versus Burton. We better speed up. I've got dinner and I'm hungry. And I'm back home now, so I haven't got to cook my own dinner. Oh, lovely stuff. It's getting me excited. Right, so let's go straight to the odds. No, let's not. Let's not change the plan. Barnsley 4th, brilliant form. Last 4 games, really, really promising. Almost the opposite of Peterborough. When Peterborough were in really good form, Barnsley and Michael Duff were struggling. They sort of switched now, and Barnsley are sort of really finding a level of consistency. Michael Duff's doing a really good job with these players, and they are, like I say, in a really good run of a winning streak, and they've won 10 games this season. They've actually got a couple of games in hand on a few teams around them. They're in 4th, and they could potentially, with those 2 games in hand, get very close to Sheffield Wednesday. I think now they're sort of going through, they've got through, should I say, or maybe still going through, or maybe at the back end of it, but they're sort of really getting through what was a really sort of quite transitional time. And you'd now like to think they're coming through the end of that, or certainly, like I say, getting through the back end of it. Burton, they've struggled this season. They have. Has things improved? I mean, they've drawn 4 games on the bounce, but they do still find themselves, a little bit adrift. 5 in total. I don't know about Burton. I still don't know. I think they probably will end up relegated. Only winning 3 games out of 21 is a problem, although they have now drawn a few, which makes it a little bit better to look at. I don't know. I'm still not fully convinced. Alex says, what are we scanning tonight? I don't know. I'm not cooking, thankfully. So I'm sure the mother has got something absolutely lovely for me to eat, which is a relief because I've fed up of cooking. Absolutely fed up of it. It's good to be back for Christmas. 52% for Barnsley, 27% for Burton. I'm gonna go Barnsley. I don't see why not. I'm gonna go 3-0 Barnsley. I have schoolwork, can't watch the stream anymore, but we pray for a win Saturday. Joanne, do your schoolwork. That's far more important than this. Have a very, very good rest of your day. And we'll speak very soon. Jim says evening. Evening, Jim. Hopefully you're well, son. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Barnsley for that one. I'm confident. Their run looks really promising. And Burton, I know they've been on a couple of draws. I think Barnsley got one into the bag. Good to have you back, Jim. And no, it's good to be back, mate. It's good to be back. I've been really busy, really hectic. I've been all over the shop. I'm still not feeling very well, hence the sort of blocked up, nasally sound coming out of my mouth. But we are still getting there. And we'll be, love recording content over Christmas. It's great to be back. So we'll be powering through, and the content will be flying at you again. How it should be, but it's been so busy with uni assignments, all that sort of thing. I've been absolutely swept off my feet, so it's great to be back. And but the stream's not over yet. We've still got a couple more games to go through. I think we've done all of those. Well, let's go to, I know we said Bolton last, but let's go to Ipswich actually then. Wycombe Ipswich, let's have it. Let's have a bit of Wycombe versus Ipswich. I'm going to just quickly pretend to sort of sniff and blow my nose off the microphone, just so that it's not as uncomfortable for everyone involved. You probably will still hear it though. That felt weird. I promise you I was actually trying to get rid of the very blocked up nose I've got at the moment. Dean Lewington, I doubt it's the real Dean Lewington, but what you got to say? Manny's stepfather is dead. I'm not just a Dean Lewington. He would never let me down and make me change my mind. Is this Manning as my stepdad? Is this Dean Lewington? Is Dean Lewington the new Manning to my stepdad? That is amazing. 2-1 Ipswich, 6-0 Ipswich, 3-2 to Wycombe. Rovers versus Charlton next, surely. It's not far away. I've been full of a dreaded bug for nearly 2 weeks. Mate, Jim, it's horrendous, isn't it? It's so annoying. Thankfully, sort of the fever part of it's gone. Well, I say that. I don't know, jinx it. Tonight I'll be back, won't it? But the sort of the fever, hot, cold thing has sort of slowly faded away. But now I'm just left with a blocked nose, a frustrating little cough, and all the cold symptoms. So, yeah. But nothing a bit of paracetamol can't deal with. 2-0 Ipswich, 4-0 Ipswich, 1-0 to Wycombe. Interesting. Ipswich have drew a few games, which is promising for me. Wycombe have also picked up form. Love Gareth Ainsworth as a player at Vale. If they kept getting rid of people using my username, it'd be great. Yeah, exactly. Dale Jones, Wycombe 100%. Dale's back in with his controversial opinions. I love it. No, I don't. Let's have a look at the odds. Of course, Ipswich now league leaders. Wycombe sort of a little bit hot and cold, a little bit inconsistent this season. Ipswich still heavy favourites, 52%. When you're looking at the bookies, 1-0 to the Wanderers. Difficult, isn't it? And obviously Wycombe are, at home this season against Portsmouth. I watched them on Sky Sports. They're really, really good, and you just don't know, do you? You just don't know what you're going to get. New Oxford sponsor will be Lemsip. Yeah, I hope so. Have you seen how many fans Ipswich are going to have? I don't know. I haven't seen that. Hopefully it'll be Liam Richardson is my stepdad in a few weeks' time. Oh yeah, is he someone that's Wigan guy, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna go draw here. I think maybe I'm gonna go 1-1. 1-1. You can't write Wycombe off. They're gonna make it difficult. I'm gonna go 1-1. Let me know. 1-1 between those two sides. They got an extra 900 fans, don't they? Wycombe at home should get a draw. Still playing 4-4. Portsmouth still playing 4-4-2. I think they are. Yeah. I think they've played that. Carry on will play that. I think Danny Cowley's very stuck in that Ipswich have been packed out. Have packed out Oxford. Excuse me. 2,700 away fans instead of the normal 1,800. Brilliant fan bases in League One. Do the game of the week last, Oxford versus the Massive. Ipswich fans seem to think they have more fans and the win is guaranteed. That's how it works, David. You not watch football. Brandon, Derby sold 5,300 at Bolton. And we have got some brilliant fan bases in this league, haven't we? I know that's not what the conversation's about. It's about, who's got more fans. But, we can pretend it's a bit more than that. Have we done Sheffield Wednesday next? Have we done Sheffield Wednesday next? We will. We will do it. Not next, but we will do it. We've got not many more to go now. Portsmouth, MK Dons, and then we're on to only Charlton and Sheffield Wednesday to go. Only got 2 more. Happy days. Although I have really enjoyed this conversation, by the way. By the way, send in some questions as well. I like answering your questions, and we can sort of do that in the mix of things. It sort of softens it out a little bit. Softens it out? Is that a word? Well, it is a word, but is that the right saying? I don't think it is. Give me some questions. We haven't done a chat in a while. I haven't done a streaming ages, really. We haven't done a video in 9 days or something. Give me your thoughts. Give me some questions, and I'll answer them. We'll try to anyway. Which is the Owls we have the best away fans? And Bolton, says Joe Green. Alex Griffin, is that Thunderbirds costume? I'm not going to read the rest of that. That is the Ipswich fan, Alex Griffin. He makes content. He makes good content. I like Alex Griffin. David, maybe he doesn't completely agree with that. No, I like Alex. Good lad. 2-0, 1-1, 2-1. Where will Exeter finish? There's a question. Where will Exeter finish? I reckon where they are now. I know it's a boring answer, but I think they probably will. I think they probably will be around mid-table, which is a really good achievement for a side who just got promoted. Best fan base in League One, Brandon. You've really stitched me up now, haven't you? You have really stitched me up. I don't like doing that. I don't. Best fan base in League One. Derby are good. Derby are good. Would Gareth ever get a job in League One? Yeah. He would. And I know that you might be, I don't know whether you're joking with that question, but I think that probably would be where he might get a Championship job. He wouldn't get a Premier League job. I don't see that. He might get a Championship job. He probably would, based on name. He would get a League One job, though. I'm going to try and preview this game, and I'll answer a lot of questions. My fault. Stitch myself up now, aren't I? Portsmouth need to turn this back round, by the way. They're in a really, really bad run of form. Last 4, last 5, they've drawn 4. They lost their last one. It's a little bit annoying at Pompey at the moment, and there's a little bit of nerve actually when you look at Danny Cowley and his sort of, don't want to say future, but there is a little bit of conversation there. Whether or not that's a justified conversation, I don't know. Is it a legitimate conversation? It probably is, but it is concerning. The form isn't there, the confidence is really low, and you can see by watching they're not the same style they were at the start of the season. Nowhere near. The 4-4-2 at the start of the season was genius. It was an absolutely genius sort of system, and the personnel within it was exceptional. But you can actually see, so she said, shocking answer Derby. I mean, Derby are good. I don't know. Best fan base is so hard to do in it. Is that most fans? Is that loudest fans? Is that best away support? I went to Derby away, and Derby are massive, aren't they? But so Sheffield Wednesday. I don't know. MK Dons, they're fake. They should be MK Dons. They should be MK Dons. They are really not a good side of MK, and they haven't got a manager. The players will be really, really worried. Again, it can go one or two ways. Did Liam Manning lose the dressing room? Is he going to maybe provide unintentionally? And he's not going to want to hear this, but is he? I doubt he's watching. Has he going to have a no manager bounce or losing a manager bounce? Are they now going to sort of find their fighting spirit? I don't know. We speak about how they lost 2 key players, but you lose 2 key players, you shouldn't drop off the way they have done. I mean, you should, but to the extent of this, it's really bad. I was always a little bit worried. I know it's easy to say now, but I was a little bit worried how when they left. But I didn't think I thought there'd be a little bit of a drop off, a little bit of a problem there, but not to this extent. Not to this extent at all. I think Pompey will win the game. I think they will. And again, I talk about similar to Peterborough United and the game they've got. This is a perfect game for them to turn that around. A perfect game. Not sorry, Peterborough, Plymouth. They've got Morecambe, haven't they? It's sort of that perfect game now to find a bit of form. Find a little bit of form. Let's go back on some of these questions while we move on to the last game. The big one. No, last two, sorry. We'll leave with Oxford, Sheffield Wednesday. This is everyone, isn't it? Just Charlton, Rovers, and then the rest of it. Let's ask some more of your questions before we end on the stream. Let's find them. I'm eating the spiciest pizza I could order. Let's see how much the gut buys. Bug enjoys chilies. I can tell you what, though. I had quite a spicy soup earlier. Homemade spicy soup. That clears the nose for about 10 minutes. If you wanted to know. Most underrated manager. Correct answer is Barton. Underrated stuff. Barton is a good manager. Very controversial as a person, but looking at a manager, then can't fault it, can you? Probably would go Barton. Who else is underrated? I know. Tough, isn't it? I know he hasn't been there long, but I think the Exeter guy, is it Gary? What's his second name? Blanked completely. Gary something. I should know. He's new, that's why I don't know, but he could be interesting. Like I said, he hasn't been there long enough, but I think he's quite a exciting manager for Exeter. I'm trying to think of others. Underrated. It's quite difficult underrated, aren't they? Because a lot of them do get their time. Darren Moore is the League One Gareth Southgate. MK are poor, tragic. No League One fan would accept Southgate as manager. Bolton will play Derby County in the playoff final. Derby are definitely the best. I don't even support them. We don't have a manager right now. Andrew Carr Southgate would easily get a championship job. I don't know. Not easily, but he would get one. I don't know. Probably would, wouldn't he? Gary Caldwell, that's it. Yeah, Gary something. I was going to say Caldwell. There we go. Best player in League One, Barry Bannon. Now I'm fine next to the stadium where I go every week. I've lost all the hope with us. Is it true Goran is injured? Yeah, Goran is injured, but he hasn't been playing anyway, so it's not really much of a problem. Right, Charlton, Bristol Rovers. Charlton, 18th. A lot of problems at Charlton. A lot of issues. They are off the field, on the field, in a lot of bother at the moment. They really, really are. And this is going to be quite a fascinating one and quite a difficult one. Bristol Rovers, they are in a really good place. Last 4 games, they've been really, really good. And, you know, Joey Button, I know we spoke about it there. He's really getting a side playing some good football at the moment. Only 4 points between those two teams, you know, but Charlton were in and around sort of the top 10 only a couple of weeks ago. Maybe a bit longer than that, about a month ago. And now they're down to 18th and they are arguably in a relegation battle, only 4 points away from the relegation zone. That's how tight, that's how close, and that's how bad run can hit you. And Charlton have learnt the hard way. Rovers, I'm intrigued by it. Because they could climb. They really, really could. I saw someone right at the start say maybe a top 6 finish. I wouldn't go that far, but they have impressed me. They have. We'll look at the odds, 44% to 32%. So Charlton are favourites. I've got a draw here. Give me your thoughts. Steve Cottrell, yeah, that's true actually. Shrewsbury manager, yeah, you're right. Hopefully win 3-1 would be nice. As Charlton fan, I'm going to see this 3-1 Bristol. Totally agree, actually. I'm not all that enthusiastic going into this. Raksaki's a beast, great player. Game predictions for this one. I'm going to go... Who's Charlton's interim manager? Oh, it's some coach, isn't it? 0-0. 2-1 Rovers. Lost one of the managers they've had for a while. Rovers on good form. Should be easy for Rovers, but Charlton at home advantage, but it's got toxic, so we never know. Our club is a mess. Have to leave now. Enjoy the stream, Jack. Thanks, and we'll probably lose. Thank you very much, Ben. Have a good rest of your day. Lovely to see you. Brewers were away win. I don't know. I can still see. I don't know. Maybe I'm blinded by Charlton at the start of the season. I haven't seen enough of them when they've been in this bad form. I've seen their results. They haven't been very good. Can't see a draw. Definitely a game where we should be winning off current form. 2-1 Rovers. 2-2. 2-2. 2-2 or 2-1 Rovers. 2-1 Rovers. I'm going to go. Rovers in really good form. Charlton are in a real problem at the moment. I'm going to go 2-1 Rovers. But it could be a draw, but I'm going to go 2-1 Rovers. Right, the final game. Sheffield Wednesday versus Oxford. The big one. The main event, some would call it. Definitely the main event. I don't know whether people have been calling it, but I will. Sheffield Wednesday versus Oxford United. Oh, absolutely buzzing for it. Can't wait for it. I went to Sheffield Wednesday last season. We won 2-1. James Emery last minute goal. Beautiful stuff. This season, I can't see that again. I can't. But I'm worried. I am worried. I'm nervous. I'm not nervous because I'm expecting anything. Let's keep it open, doesn't it? Just keep it open. Look, Sheffield Wednesday are going to be favourites. They will be. Look at the league position. Again, they're at home. Their home form this season's good. Their form at the moment is very, very good. They're in a real battle for potentially still the title. Only 3 points off it. They've been exceptional. Last 2 games, a little bit of a drop off when it comes to the draws. But I still massively fear Sheffield Wednesday. Of course you would. Why wouldn't you? Just look at the league table. Look at the players. And look at what they've got going on there. They've got a really, really exciting thing. And they are powering through. Really, really relentless. Of any other team, I think them and Barnsley, they're an informed team in that top 6 at the moment. So you've got to be really, really excited by that. And I think they are. I do think they are. Someone drew a pasting from Wednesday. That'd be nice. 3-0 Sheffield Wednesday. 2 of our... By the way, Oxford United's 4 recently. It's a lot of draws, isn't it? But we're unbeaten. I think we're unbeaten in 6 or something. Unbeaten in 7. We're flying. Flying high. Sheffield City Stadium, like MK's empty every time they play. If it wasn't for the away fans, it basically is empty. I think it's a League 2 time as well for them. Can rely on David to bring in these controversial opinions. 2-1 Owls. I reckon it's either Wednesday batter Oxford, Oxford batter Wednesday. No in between. Sheffield Wednesday fan, by the way. Sheffield Wednesday near Oxford 1. Oh, I'm slightly round off for that. Who do you think out of Plymouth, Derby and Wednesday are going to go up? Plymouth and... Well, technically all 3 could, didn't they? But I think Ipswich will. I think Plymouth still will. 6-0 Wednesday. The Miners of Oxford going to Hillsborough. 4-0 Wednesday. Have you done Bolton? I have the last game. Oh no, I still got to do Bolton. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Derby aren't going. 2-1 Wednesday. Last year we definitely were playing What was it? Last year we'll definitely be playing in the mind of them. We're also struggling on scoring, not creating chances. You also picked up form. Adam, hey bro, how you doing, mate? I meant Ipswich, Plymouth Wednesday. Ipswich and Wednesday. I whisper it. I know I've got a few Plymouth fans in here. I don't know. Ipswich and Wednesday look good. But again, we're looking at recent form, aren't we? 3 on Wednesday. The biggest clubs in the division are Bolton, Wednesday and Derby. It's just a fact. Top 2. 1-1. What are the bookies saying? We haven't even got Oxford's bookie, bloody hell. 59%. 63% specifically. God. Derby County of a League 1 club. Really pessimistic when it comes to clubs to our support. Oxford here. But I reckon we can carry on the underrated streak. 2-2 my prediction. What should be 2-0 Wednesday. As long as we don't lose, I'll be happy. By the way, if you haven't left a like, please leave a like. We've got 50 people in there right now. We should get 50 likes. Please do leave a like. Thank you so, so much. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, we're going to try and get as many likes as we can. We're on 9 at the moment, I think. We're on 9? How many likes we got? 23. Leave a like. We've got 23 likes. There's 48 people in there right now. All you've got to do is literally free. No strings attached. Just straight away. Just hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to go... I'm going to do my classic head and heart. Head, 3-1 Wednesday. Heart, 2-2. I'm still not heard anything on Bannon if he's injured soon. I hope he is injured. Sorry, Bannon. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? But I hope he... That sounds horrible. It'd be helpful if he was not available. Bannon a real warrior, though, edging his back. Didn't know Bannon was potentially injured. That does make it interesting. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Oxford 2. Hopefully, David. Yeah. But I think 3-1's the realistic sort of what everyone's thinking. My heart, Oxford, my yellow and blue heart. 2-2. Last time we started the league game without Bannon, we lost. Hello. We haven't done Bolton, have we? That got close. We were about to finish a stream without doing Bolton. That one not gone down very well. How did I miss Bolton? Port Vale we've done that. We haven't done that. We've done every other game, haven't we? They're not the next games. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, it's only Bolton to go. Last one. Hit and miss with Wednesday at home. Right, final game. Bolton. Sorry, I just snorted into the mic again. Bolton Wanderers versus Exeter City. Final game. Final of the stream. Please do leave a like. Please do subscribe. Bolton, give your predictions right now. Bolton 5th in the league. Inconsistent. last 5 games. Very, very inconsistent. They lost to Shrewsbury 3-2 in their last one. I got a lot of stick from Bolton Wanderers fans for that video. I said, well, they won't get promoted. Of course, a little bit of, not clickbait, but a little bit of discussion there. But at the same time, there is an inconsistency. And that inconsistency is unfortunately continuing. They are still at top 6, though, and you can't fault that league position. Exeter, 13th. Again, I've been really impressed by them. Them and Port Vale, who got promoted, have been absolutely fantastic. And I'm intrigued to see where that goes. Senior predictions here. Up the City, 2-1 Bolton, 2-2, 2-2, 0-0, 2-1 Bolton, 2-1 Exeter, drew to the Owls. Bolton also very poor recently. Exeter playing well, it'll be a very tough game. January transfer window, huge for Wanderers, it will be. For a lot of clubs, I think it will be, but Bolton do need a striker. I wish a couple there. And finally, look at the odds here, 49%, 28%. High scoring draw, Exeter very tough. Yeah, don't tell David Jones we won't go up. He'll cry and get upset. He will. I know what David's like. 2-1 Exeter. I'm going to go 2-2. And a few 2-2s, haven't I? 2-2s. 2-2. That is a fair result. Right, that is the round. Let's go back to the main screen. You can see my lovely face for the final bit. Boom. So that is the roundup. It's not the roundup. I mean, it is a roundup of the League One prediction and preview show, but it's not a roundup. The roundup will be coming out on Sunday, of course, before the World Cup final. But there we go. Really excited to be back, like I say, back in the studio, back where we love being, and that is, for the Christmas time. And then the festive period is going to excite me. I'm sure it will be. Club football is going to be well and truly back underway. The Boxing Day of festive football is what you live for, isn't it? As a football fan, it's what you live for. And I'm really, really good to be back. Really glad to be back, should I say. And, I've taken a bit of time away with the whole university stuff, and now that is finished, or for the time being, it's finished, obviously, with now the break starting. I'm still a little bit ill. You're pretty here, but it's amazing speaking to these people and you wonderful people and getting back in swing and talking about this is actually making me feel a little bit better. It sounds a little bit wet, but it's true. It is true, and that is why we love the podcast and why I love the community that we've got going on here. So please do leave a like, please do subscribe, and we'll be back very, very shortly. A lot of content. Lots of content, and that is amazing. Get yourself on some FM, Jack. Make yourself feeling better. Carl out, Jack in. Oh well. Carl's doing okay at the moment. He's doing okay. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good Friday as well. And then football on Saturday. And that is always exciting, isn't it? Always exciting. 3 o'clock kickoffs all around us as well. It's going to be good. Right, take care. I've been Jack. This has been your fan podcast.